Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith, the In the Black VTF here, T3 Live with today's market wrap up. And I know a lot of people are getting confused, and hopefully, I'm going to clear that up for you right now. Basically, what we're looking at is SPY still stuck in a range. We were bearish engulfing yesterday, attempted to take it out in the morning, but came right back into this range. So you can see this range from here into there, and now right in the middle of it, and pop back up. So one of the things you want to know about is when something's inside on a longer term basis, because you hear people say something's consolidating. Well, you want to be able to define what that means. What does that mean it's consolidating? It's like it's getting tighter. Well, how do we define that? How we define that is you take longer term time frames and you say, am I taking out the previous lows or the highs? No, I'm not. And so if you look at this monthly, this is a stone cold inside month, going to be a real hard time doing that. And so at that time, we can expect it to go back up and forth until it makes an attempt to do that, or it forms that consolidation by forming that inside bar. That's what a consolidation looks like. Then following month, you can look to take that out. So obviously, we're not going to wait a month to trade, but you want to be aware of that and try and trade things that aren't doing that, which is a little tough. If you go to weekly, we were inside weak, so we formed that equilibrium and made an attempt to take the upside and then failed and dropped back in. And that's what we can expect, because even if it took this out, it was going to be a tall order to go all the way up there. So we make a little attempt here, make a little attempt down, and we chop around. So today, you had the QQQ form an inside day. And so that's what's going to happen. It's going to start with the big outside month. Then you're going to have the slowly get the inside 60s, inside days, more inside weeks, and then the inside months. And so we're just building on this consolidation. So what we can do is continue to watch these consolidations and look for things that are that aren't forming a consolidation, because you want something to be trending no matter what it is. You want it to be making a higher high on some time frame. And if it's inside on a longer term time frame, you know that your price targets are going to come in a little bit because it's still considered consolidating. So if we go back to the SPY, and you can do the chop around and look at the 60-minute chart and be like, okay, no, we're going to kill him. No, we're going to rally him. No, we're going to kill him. No, we're going to rally him. No, we're going to kill him. No, we're going to do right in the middle, doing nothing, right? And so when everybody's all said and done, these are just attempts to try and push out that failed. And that's what we can expect, because we're forming an inside month. So today we open down in here, we start rallying, we go inside 60, we go up, and then form a 60-minute shooting star. After, as you can see this here, this push here takes anybody out who is short against any level. Here, 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 and there, they're all gone. And so up in here, anybody too aggressive on the long side gets trapped, boom, shooting star. And we can combine that with a 15-minute chart and say, if that's really going to go down, what it would look like. It would look like an inside 15 to the downside, another inside 15 to the downside, and just back into the range. So not the end of the world. Like I said, an inside day for QQQ. And so we'll be looking at how do we break this equilibrium inside day, just like we like to look at months and weeks on the daily. At least it's showing there's an attempt to break to the upside or the downside from the previous highs or lows, and that shows you some sort of direction as opposed to something that's forming an inside bar. So to start off today, one of the things we want to go after are things that are on the move. Lulu Bell. Oh no, Lulu Bell not only here takes out last week's lows after taking out last week's highs, outside bar here, and granted there was a big gap on that, but on the monthly here, same deal, and comes all the way down there. So as it's moving lower, you can see here on the daily, comes right down to almost to the broadening formation tick, and so you can follow that on a short-term time basis. You can see how it's doing this. It's very hard to get involved in something like this. How do I get in here? Because if I short on the lows, it pops back up on me, right? And so what you want to do is you want to look for corrective action within a 5-minute bar. So when it pops up here, 5-minute shooting star. You can go further even back. I'm sure there were some other fivers in there that we had. Inside 5 right here, stuff like that, because you want something that's going like this to pop up, shorts cover, pop up, shorts cover, pop up, shorts cover, and just continues lower and is taking out yesterday's lows by handily and last week's lows. Conversely, we also had Palo Alto on the upside, and that gave us inside weak to the upside on the gap. And so when you're wondering what that's going to do, all right, we're taking out 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks of highs in one shot here on the gap. an up sideways measured move. So an inside bar can either represent the rest before the measured move or the exhaustion before more selling. In this case, it was up. And then if you watch the opening 30 minutes, you had an inside 30 here to capture stuff like that. So outside of that, then it was just picking up on things moving. ZSPH, big mover, and it was moving early. And the good part about this, you can watch. How do we define consolidation? Inside bar. Inside 60, takes the inside 60 to the upside, and then absolutely explodes. Real nice one there. We also have IBB going as an inside day, as well it should, because this should consolidate, because this is almost no way not going to be an inside month outside of a huge move, although these things are known to do that. So if we take a look at the inside day, is green and starting. So anytime we're starting to move higher, we can look at stuff going towards the highs. Clovis handily above last month's hammer, handily above last week's highs, not consolidating, trending. All right, and so we look for it to take out the daily. Did that again. You can look for 60s in there, and here it comes back in inside 60, comes back doji 60 and up. So this is how you can identify things that are trending, things you want to be involved in. ANAC up $9 today, and this thing taking out the weekly hammer to the upside. So as opposed to trying to buy the dips, which in this environment can work, when the dip starts moving back up in the market, you can go after things that are trading near the highs. There's no reason to believe they're going to go down. So if we go to all these inside days, you'll see that with QQQ, you got an inside day for Apple. You got an inside day for Netflix. You've got inside day at GoPro. So all these equilibriums formed here, GoPro in all sorts of trouble. You got Baba inside day, Yahoo inside day below the inside weekend. I'm going to get to those in a second. American Airlines inside day. So all these equilibriums forming in different sectors, as you can see, Visa, AMBA here, Noble Energy. So forming across several industries, and Noble's also inside week. So is Apple. And so unless that breaks, if it does break, it's got to break it. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for the inside week to see if this goes up, sideways, inside week, and measured move. But also, if you want to look at things from a statistical basis, people look at the S&P and say, I think it's this, I think it's that. I really don't care. It's not a Rorschach test. The question is, what is going on in here? And so, much since the inside bars are in equilibrium, one can simply say how many of these inside weeks, like the SPY, have gone up and failed, or how many are still going up, and how many have broken the lows and are going down. And so if you look at the ones going down, you'll see Procter & Gamble slightly, Mobileye, all right, you'll see letter X, you'll see Yahoo, just pointed that out, you'll see Chevron, and very slight on some of these, right, and NOV in the energy, very slight down, DG here, Monsanto. And so you'd say, okay, at that point, these equilibriums are trying to break to the downside. However, if you go to the, statistically, if I want to go to the weeklies and say how many are breaking to the upside, you have much more important stocks. Cisco, inside week and up. You've got Oracle, inside week and up. You've got Kroger. You've got CSX Rail. You've got Union Pac. You've got Valero, Southwest Air. Here, you've got NXPI still inside week and up. I'll grant it testing it, but it is. LinkedIn. You've got Amazon. You got the Facebook. You got Boeing in the Dow. So you can see from the difference there, statistically looking at it, basically we should go nowhere, and if anything, there would be a slight upward bias because of that, but there's still a lot of things forming inside bars like Apple, so we want to keep on that. So the best thing to do here in this environment is to stay on these inside bars, watch when they break, watch the 60-minute SPY, and once that thing's green or red, you're going to be looking for the weak stocks when it's red, and you're going to be looking for the strong stocks when it's green, and stay on that stuff like just what I just showed you. So hopefully you had a good day, and I will see you in the morning.